Hey, Colorado Springs. This is Jenny Bayless, and I am back today to talk about a deal analysis of a fourplex that's about to close in a few hours with my co-host today, Leah Keeling. Leah, how's it going?
It's going good, Jenny. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk about this property.
Yes.
It
Thanks for
was,
having me back on.
yeah, absolutely. So I know we've done a couple properties like this in, the past couple of months, but I think it just kind of hits home what we're seeing going on right now in the market. So I think
Yes.
it's a pretty good one. Um, so why don't you tee up the investor and then the property type, and then we'll go into detail.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is one of our repeat investors. I think we actually did a deal analysis on him, a couple weeks ago?
Hmm.
Maybe it was a few weeks ago now. And that podcast was what we thought would be his last fourplex purchase. But when we quickly found this one, you actually found this one
Yeah,
and sent it
I
over
was trying to contain myself and not
and not
purchase
buy
it. Yeah.
it. Yes. So this investor just loves his properties all in close proximity. And this one is literally across the street from another one that we closed on last year. So you can actually throw a rock and hit the other property from this one. And then yours is just a couple down from that. So I'm sure
Yeah,
this
we're all
is something
neighbors. Yep.
for you. Oh, this is by far, I think, my favorite one of his fourplexes. I think this is his fifth fourplex that he's bought with us in the past couple of years.
Is it really his
I think
fifth?
so. His fifth.
Wow.
'Cause he was stopping at 4, and then this was the surprise. Um, so this is in the Cimarron Hills area, east of Colorado Springs. So near Schriever Air Force Base, Peterson Air Force Base, all that good stuff. So fourplex, 2 bed, 1 bath units, super clean. The units are really nice. I mean, they could use maybe some new carpet, but otherwise, super solid cosmetically. Just a great building. So super excited about this one.
Yeah, I love this area for sure. All the tenants that live there seem to be very happy living there. So I think
Hmm.
that this is going to be another home run.
Yes.
So I think that the most exciting part about this property and the reason why I had to contain myself was the price.
I know.
I thought it was going to just be an absolute mess, or there's going to be some trick to it.
Yeah.
Do you know kind of why? And, well, I guess maybe we should give some numbers first. So it was
Hmm.
listed at, I think it was listed at 650, right?
650.
Okay.
Yes.
And yeah, I bought my property for 800.
Yep.
He bought his other property for 800. Of course, this is when rates were at half of what they are now, so that
Mhm.
may play a little bit into it. But do you know a little bit about why they priced it at what they priced it at?
Yeah, so I actually called the agent because I was like, okay, there has to be something really wrong with this place for it to
Hmm.
be priced like this. And I mean, from the photos, it was like I couldn't see anything obviously wrong.
Yeah.
And then I called her and she let me know that the roof was bad, but they were replacing it. And then she said that she priced it like she did because it had Fed pack panels. I
Oh,
forgot about
okay.
that before.
Yeah. Okay.
For this, yeah. So, gosh, but those are what, like maybe 2,500 each for like the little sub panels inside. I don't know. It's not even a
It's
huge
not
deal.
150K. I do know that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I guess we'll see on inspection. Something has to be wrong with this place.
Yeah.
It turns out that it's just like a really solid property. I don't know. I wouldn't have priced it there, but that's okay. I'm
Yeah.
glad
I
she did.
guess they just priced it to sell, it sounds like. And
Yes, and I
um
think we got it was 1 day on the market.
yeah. I think I sent it to him like an hour after it listed, and you said
Mhm.
there was another offer on the table at
Yeah,
that
but
point?
our offer was first.
Okay. There you
Um,
go.
our offer was first, and according to her, the listing agent, our offer was just, like, way better, cleanly written, and she's one of those agents that's very particular about how her offers are written, and she was like, "Your offer was perfect." I was like, "Oh, okay. You just
Hey,
made my whole day."
yeah, I mean, I think we should talk about that for a moment. Like, I
Yeah.
think when you are a listing agent and you receive a well-written offer, it's
Mhm.
kind of like a little insight as to how the transaction should flow. I mean,
Yes.
there may be hiccups out of your control, of course,
Mhm.
inspection, financing, whatever. But in terms of interacting agent to agent, I think that's a pretty good sign as to what's to come for that.
Mhm. I mean, it just shows that you know the contract,
Hmm.
and, I just think, sadly, a lot of agents don't even know the contract,
Yeah, yeah, which
and
is
it shows.
not good for their client.
Right, and it shows when you are on the listing side and you get offers in, you're just like, "Oh my gosh," it's just more often than not, they're poorly written.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it definitely, that was a big deal to her. So
Good.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that was super exciting.
Uh,
And we've just had like a great time working together. So it's been an easy one.
good,
Yeah.
good. So so he locked it up for
Mhm.
650, which is list price with a beautifully clean offer.
Mhm.
And he's gonna incur about 10 to 12K in acquisition costs.
Mhm.
Um, so this investor, he's putting 40% down, and that's kind of been his go-to strategy
Yes.
because he, he believes in real estate long term. I think he's monitoring interest rates. It's
Yeah.
not, not imperative to making anything work for him, but he's just keeping an eye on it to see if
Mhm.
he's able to pull any cash out
Yes.
if they drop. He's just kind of making sure that the properties can support themselves,
Yes.
is kind of his logic on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but, you can either do it this way, like what we just talked about, lightly leverage the property, or you can find something that is more management intensive and therefore would likely give you a larger return. So you can pick and choose, uh, you know, your poison on that case. So, um, and then you guys negotiated seller credits,
Mhm.
which net out to the initial repair costs. So is that
Yes.
part of your inspection
Mhm.
findings? Okay.
Yeah, it was. Since it was only one day on market, we didn't want, and we knew that there were other interested parties. We didn't want to ask for concessions right away. Off the top, even though that's something we've been able to do on, I would say, 90% of our transactions,
Hmm.
this past year, but we just knew we needed to go in clean and full price. So, yeah, on inspection, there was a couple things going on with the sewer line. And so that was like a $10,500 repair. And then the radon was a little bit high on it as well. So we negotiated radon mitigation. So
Okay.
it came out to about 12,000 on that. And they were happy to credit that to us. So
Okay. So those are the things that he's going to take care of
mhm.
at purchase. And then um, what's his plan for the Federal Pacific panels? Is he going to just take care of them
Yeah,
like
he's
at
gonna, I think he'll take care of those pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, yeah. I That would probably be on my move-in, list.
Mhm. I
So I
told
would
him, like, "You probably wanna get rid of those." I mean, I know they've been there for a long time.
Yeah,
But
I had a one of my favorite quotes from, an inspector was, "They're not an issue till they're an issue."
exactly.
It's like, yeah, you don't wanna mess with electric,
Mhm.
things, so absolutely, that would be on my soon to-do list. So, yeah, we'd wanna put that in, to the initial repair cost line as well.
Yes.
Um, I would say I don't even know, let's see, maybe 15,
I would
20,
say 15, yeah.
15 to 20K at the,
Mhm.
most.
Yeah.
So, definitely still a good find, as far as I can see,
Yes.
in that regard. So then we have interest rate at 8% over
Mhm.
30-year fix. So, and that's after he bought it down some, right?
I don't know that he bought this one down.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he did. He's just kind of cool with it, like, waiting couple years, seeing if rates come down and just refinancing.
Mhm. Okay.
The property is supporting itself, so he wasn't too worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super interesting, but makes sense.
Yeah.
So he has a monthly rental income per unit at 1095.
Mhm.
I would agree with that number. I think that's pretty spot on.
Mhm.
Um, and I think you guys used my rents as a comp, right? For
Yeah,
for the
used
appraisal.
I used your rent comps, his other building rent comps, and then the other fourplex that he just purchased, a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
I used those too. So I
Yeah.
had like super great solid comps to send.
Yeah, this area is pretty easy to price out rent, I think,
It is.
because everyone's pretty much offering at the same,
Yes.
thereabouts.
Yeah.
So just pick which, building is your favorite, I guess, if you're a tenant.
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah.
then, yeah, we got the normal inputs here.
Yes.
Do you pay for property management? No. So that is kind of his leg up, right?
Yes.
To keeping these things fully functioning. And I think if he had the chance, well, I know he says that he wants, management in place at some point, but I secretly think he enjoys it.
I think he does too. I think he
Yeah,
does it. I think, he'll eventually want to move on um from Colorado. So I think when that happens, he'll
yeah,
try to figure that out. But for now, he's very hands-on and he loves it.
yeah. While he's here, he can't
Yes.
not go over and fix things up and everything.
Yes.
Um, so monthly reserves for maintenance 8%. I think that's
Mhm.
fair. Is this a 1980s build or
Mhm.
70s?
It's later 70s.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It is nice that he's upgrading, or going to upgrade, the
Mhm.
panels, the roof. So a lot of
Yeah.
those major components that I think 8% is okay.
Yes.
Knowing
And it
that.
also has a newer boiler and a newer water heater.
Oh,
And then,
that's great.
the new roof just got put on a couple days ago.
Oh,
I
perfect.
mean, all the major stuff is done or will be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's great. Yeah, boilers, those are not cheap. So
Yeah.
it's good that he'll be able to get, hopefully several decades out of those.
Yes.
Um, so real estate taxes, you put in 3,100.
Mhm.
Oof, yeah, that area went up quite a bit.
Yes,
Um,
it went up $1,000 year over year.
yeah, yeah. It's like those
Ugh,
fixed costs are just eating into everything.
I know.
And
I know.
property insurance, 3,600. I think that's pretty fair.
Mhm.
I've been seeing insurances on fourplexes um, going up quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think 36 is actually a steal, even though last year I would have said probably 25 would have been a good number for that. So yeah, that's
Yes.
that's
Oh, I
what we're
know, I'm
seeing now.
feeling like, "Oh, 3,600, that's great."
Yeah. Oh, you got a deal on
Crazy how
that.
things change.
Yep. Yep. It's all perspective, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then trash is 800 a year.
Mhm.
I know I've spoken about this before, but I've gotten him onto the tote bandwagon, where
Yes.
each tenant has their individual tote as opposed to a shared dumpster.
Mhm.
Depending on how your property is situated, it makes them more or less conducive
Mhm.
to the
Exactly.
totes. So,
Yeah.
but he really likes the totes because I think it does make the property look really clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he does all of his own, like, snow removal and stuff. We were chatting about that in the group chat the other day, like, he might hire someone, right?
Yeah,
You never know if he has.
I will be hiring someone. I'm not driving out,
Doing
for a
shoveling
snowstorm.
snow for yeah, I
Yeah.
know. That's
I
too much.
I think he did agree to hire someone for the snow removal, so,
Okay. Good
yeah.
for him. At least he's hiring out somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
So, we do have a total cash investment of 272,000. Um, and then we'll just kind of go through the cash flow statement at a high level. Expected annual rental income of about 51,000 for the year, annual expenses of just shy of 12, and then so that gives us a NOI of about 39,000 minus his mortgage payments. Gives him about $5,000 a year cash flow before taxes.
Mhm.
1.8% cash on cash return, but it is a 5.9% cap rate. So that's just kind of where, a year or so ago, we would have loved to have seen all of the deals be 6 caps on a
Mhm.
multifamily in Colorado Springs, and it just wasn't there. Um, but now people are starting to price their assets for sale a little bit differently than they were before. So that's going to improve your cap rate, but that cash on cash is still a little bit rough because of that higher mortgage payment that he has. So
Mhm.
it's just interesting to kind of look at the different components and see what it is that um, is important to you as an
Mhm.
investor. So I just wanted to call that out. But still, his first year return on investment, I think is really good still. So he's looking at about 17.3% total ROI on the first year. So
Mhm.
um,
And that's
yeah,
pretty good. Yeah.
yeah. So this one I think is a really interesting property. How you guys were able to pick it up,
I know.
the way
Thanks
you
to
were.
you.
Hey,
Thanks
I
to
just
you
I
and
just
your
see them.
yeah, you're paying close attention. Yeah. No, it's really perfect. It's like the icing on the cake for his portfolio.
Yeah, yep, and having,
So,
his geographically
yes.
centric portfolio, that he wanted,
Mhm.
but I think he likes the fact that they are individual fourplexes too, so if he wanted to sell one out of the package, like, he could do that. He doesn't have to sell an entire building and figure out
Mhm.
what from there, so just there's some added flexibility to that.
Mhm.
But yeah, any other, like, last minute comments regarding this property?
I don't think so. I just think it's cool to show, what you can do, and just how to make it work if you can do a deal like this. I think it's a good way to pick up 4 units,
Yeah, yeah.
and just able to make it work like this, even with that 8% interest rate. So pretty sweet. Once rates come down, these numbers will look so good. And it's just exciting, So
Yeah.
making it work in this environment and, you know, it's just awesome. So I'm excited for him.
So just curious, I don't know if you know the answer, and maybe we'll have to have this buyer on answer it himself. But
Mhm.
if rates don't come down, do you know what his plan is? Is it to kind of delever or just kind of hold tight, or do you have any idea what his?
I
Okay.
don't, because his conversations with me are just like he's like expecting a couple years for them to come down. So we'll see. I haven't even asked him that, but I feel like that's a really good question. I should have asked.
Yeah.
So
we
yeah.
we can edit in the answer once we know. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see him in a couple hours at closing. So
Yeah, yeah, tell him I was curious what his plan is
okay.
for that, so,
Will do.
but thanks everyone for sticking around and listening to this, deal analysis, and, we will see you on the next one. Thanks all.
Thank you.